Welcome to RawSportsCast. My name is Scott Harrigan. Today we have a couple guests from the GVHPA, and that stands for the Greater Victoria Pitching Association. Is that correct? Horseshoe, yeah.
Greater Victoria Horseshoe Pitching Association.
Okay, and that's in Saanich?
Correct.
Awesome. And we have Tom Moffat and Buddy Durda with us today. Boys, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Doing great.
Doing
Thanks
great.
for having us.
No problem, buddy. So let's get, not many people know that there's a horseshoe, or do they? Like there was, don't you have a little bit of a tagline? It's the
biggest secret in Victoria, really.
Yeah. And how long has it been going on?
Since 1935.
Oh, wow. And how many members?
Right now we got about 100.
Okay. And is it something that kicks off every night? Do you have games, leagues, tournaments?
Well, right now it's a slow season, but during the spring and summer it's usually going 2 or 3 nights a week and tournaments on the weekend, and old retired guys play Wednesday mornings.
You?
Yeah. So
You'll be there too, buddy, one day.
Yeah.
But it's got some history to it as far as some hardware, like in the trophy case. Like I've been there several times. And can you just tell me a little bit, like you guys too, like aren't you kind of world champions, or how's this go?
We're not quite that good.
No? All right.
But, we've both been to the World Championships at one time or another.
Okay. What has the club won?
It's more of an individual sport. You play individually, and men's, ladies, elders, which is men over 65. They throw a little closer.
Okay.
And we've had provincial champions, Canadian champions, world champions out of our club.
Wow. Yeah. Buddy, what about you? What I've seen some of your videos on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, and one of the recent ones, I think you threw 8 shoes or something and got all 8. Where did this start from for you?
For me, it was my grandfather got me into it at about 14 years old.
Okay.
And, after 15 months of pitching, he took me to the World Championships, and I finished second.
Oh, wow.
So
Where was that?
That one was in Red Deer, actually, in Canada,
Okay.
which is rare for the World Championship to be held in Canada. It's only ever happened twice.
Okay.
And then I continued to go for the following 3 years. I went to 4 World Championships in a row, and I finished second twice out of those 4 years. One of them I went in the men's division, finished 17th in the men's championship round, which is it's hard to get to the championship round because you have to have a top average in order to get into that final round.
Okay.
So I was.
Is this over the course of a weekend, or how many games would it take to, say, from start to finish to get to the finals in the World Championship?
The final day is pitched on the 6th day of pitching, so it takes 3 days of qualifying and then 3 days of the final round.
Oh, wow.
So it's a
So how many games is that? About
it's
5
about
each day.
32 games over 6 days.
32 games.
No, 30 games.
30
games.
That's quite, wow.
Yeah.
5 games a day.
5 games a day for 6 days straight.
Okay.
If you make that final round.
Now, to me, I don't take it as serious as that. I'm a horseshoe camping guy, whatever, and it's one of those games that I want to have a beer. Do people at the World Championships, they're not drinking?
They are, some of them. Not,
Perfect.
Not during the game.
I don't know. I don't know if they're allowed during the game or not.
No, it's not on the court. You're not allowed it, but
Okay.
Okay.
they do
In
after.
Canada, we kind of do drink beer when we play,
Well, it's Canada.
but Tom doesn't drink any beer.
No.
No.
Who can you beat, Tom?
I can beat Tom. Tom can beat me. We're pretty even.
Right.
You got me this year.
I got him this year.
Tom, how far have you got in horseshoes, and how long have you been playing?
I've been playing about 20 years.
Okay.
So I started when I was about 47, so it was I was late starting, and like I say, I've been to 1 World Championship, and I've gone to about, I'd say, 10 Canadian Championships. The best I've done there is came third 3 times, but I've also done well at the provincials.
Has your association ever held a world championship? Is it capable of doing that?
No, we've held about 6 Canadian championships and about 10 BC championships. But a world championship, you basically have to rent a couple arenas side by side, and you got like 1,500 people there.
Oh, wow.
It costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
What does it cost you to go to the world? Like, is it something that if you win the provincials, you move, or if you win your city, you move to the provincial? If you win that, you go to or how do you get there?
Anyone can go to the world championships, but you have to have a top average. When I was playing in the men's division in 2005, there was 24 men that made the final. Now it's only 16. So
Okay.
the top 16 averages in the world make that final round. And that's it. Anybody in any class can move into that final round. If you could be a lower seeded player and still make that final round.
All right.
When we say 1,500 people, that's men, women, children, and like say
Different classes.
different classes. Like if you throw 5% ringers, you're going to play against people that throw 5% ringers. You throw 55%, you're going to throw against people that throw 55 to 60%.
But who like I know in golf there's sandbaggers all the time, and 3/4 of my buddies are sandbaggers. So they say they have a whatever, then they're actually 4 handicap or something like that. Actually, I have no friends that are 4 handicap. But how does your average, who controls that? Who polices it?
Every tournament you play in, we count every shoe you pitch and every ringer you throw, and so
Throughout your club?
in a tournament, and then every tournament you go in, you already have a ringer percentage.
Okay.
And so they take your last 10 games and they take the top 3. They average the top 3 of your last 10 games.
Okay. So kind of like bowling, the same way they keep the bowling stats
Yeah,
and whatever?
pretty much,
Okay. And so walk me through like when you say 5% ringers and stuff like that, like walk me through all that. How does that all work?
Well, Buddy and I were playing a game, and we played at 40 points. If we threw 60 shoes, and I would I got 30 ringers, and Buddy got 32 ringers. That's pretty good percentage,
okay. All right. So it'd be like 50% ringers or something like. What? Yeah. Okay. So what are these top guys? What are they pulling in? Like, so the world championship. If you're going to win the world championship, what percent are you going to be throwing at?
Well, at the provincial level, you pretty well have to throw about 55 to 60%. Canadian level, you probably got to be close to 70. And world championship, guys won 25 times. He throws 90%.
So he doesn't miss.
To knock him off, you got to shoot 85 to 90%.
And he's got to have a bad game.
And I hope he doesn't have one of his good games.
Wow.
But
And what's his name?
His name's Alan Francis. There's only one guy in the last 30 years that's touched him. And that fellow's name is Brian Simmons. He's an idol of mine because he's a warrior. He's a fighter. He's gone through cancer. He's gone through alcohol
Addiction. Yeah.
Alcohol-related problems with his body.
Yeah.
And he still makes a comeback and is able to knock that guy off. He's only done it 3 times.
Wow.
But most years he finishes second.
And where are these guys from?
Alan Francis is from Ohio, and Brian Simmons is from Vermont.
And Alan Francis is one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. You wouldn't even know he's won that many times. He's such a humble guy.
Wow. What's the trick to it? I mean, like, is it the turn, the flip? Like, everybody must have a style. Like, I've seen you, buddy, that you've got that kind of 1.5 turn type thing or whatever.
1 1/4 turn.
1 1/4 turn.
Yeah.
But that works for you.
Yeah, it works for a lot of guys.
Okay, so is that the go-to one?
A lot of guys throw a 1 1/4 in the top group. Very few. There's a couple flippers, but they're actually doing well.
Okay.
The top 2 flippers are about 75%, which is pretty incredible for a flip shoe.
Wow.
Because the odds of getting a ringer with a flip shoe are much lower than a turn shoe, because the turn shoe is turning. So if you were to miss left or right, your shoe could grab that peg still because it's turning. If you're a flip shoe, if you miss left or right, it's gonna
bounce off.
It's gonna bounce off, or it's gonna hit the toe of the shoe and bounce and shoot back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Go ahead, Tom.
3.5 inches in the opening of the shoe. So when you're throwing a flip, it's coming straight at it. But when you're turning it, you're basically got twice as much open.
So that, you don't have to be as accurate.
Okay.
Right.
But it's harder to control a turn than it is a flip.
So that little knobby part on the end of the shoes on both sides, you're hoping, obviously you're hoping to get straight on, like hit the base of the shoe, but like how many times does that little knobby thing save you?
Well, that hooks it, holds it on.
Right.
Really.
Okay. So walk me through, like, you have how many shoes per end?
You would play, in the top group, you're playing 40 points.
With two shoes?
With two shoes. So it's cancellation. So if you have two ringers on and I have two ringers on, there's no score there. So you can see how a game could go on for a while.
Right. Okay.
If somebody has two ringers on and the other guy only has one ringer on, well, there's two dead there and 3 points.
Okay, I was going to get onto that, the pointing system. Is it different points for men, women, kids, all the different divisions, or can you throw 3 shoes, 4 shoes, or is it always 2 shoes?
Always 2 shoes, and it's 3 points for a ringer and 1 point for within 6 inches. But in a tournament cancellation, it's who's closer and within that 6 inches.
Okay.
The difference is the groups is the throwing distance. So the elders, the women, and the juniors throw from 30 feet. And the men throw from 40 feet.
Okay. And the pin itself that you're aiming for, the goal, how high above the ground in the pit is that? Is that accurate, or can one be higher? Or
it's about 18 inches above the ground.
It should be 15. 15 is max.
That was 18.
It's 15.
Okay. Anyway, and it's tilted a bit on an angle.
It's tilted 3 inches forward because that increases your possibilities of getting a ringer. Because if it's straight up and down, it's more likely to shoot back when you hit it, even with a turn shoe.
Right.
But when it's tilted, it's leaning forward, right?
So during a game, like if somebody's hitting 90%, somebody's hitting that pin, 20 times a game. So doesn't the pin move back, or do you have to keep adjusting it every round? Or
no, they're anchored down pretty good. Basically, they're into like blocks of wood or
concrete,
and then the weight of the sand. Or when you go to the World Championship and some Canadian champion, you're playing clay, which is like a silly putty where the shoe hits and it doesn't slide at all, just sticks.
But it's must have, like, when I think of horseshoes, again, camping guy, I'm that guy. It used to be leaners, like you used to be able to use the pit to slide up into the pin. But you're not even going for that. There's no like sneaky ones anymore. Like you're either on or off, right?
Yeah, the odd guys in sand will slide them on a little bit, but leaners have been out of competitive horseshoes for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's just
I love leaners.
It's 1 point if you're close, but if your opponent's closer, then your opponent gets a point. But if your opponent has a ringer and you have no ringers, then your opponent just counts the ringer.
Right, of course. And are you gauging who's closer by the horseshoe still? Is that still a thing, like the little knobby part, or no?
No, we have a little tool that's it hooks on the pin at 6 inches long, and you can tell who's closer. And if it gets really close, you call a judge, and they bring a pair of calipers out and measure who's closer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, does it matter what side you stand on? Like, is that a preference, or is it superstition, or if I'm a left guy, or when you're playing against a lefty, or like does that come into play?
Most guys would, if you're a right-handed pitcher, you want to throw on the left side because your arm lines up with the pin better.
Okay.
If you're standing on the right side, being a right-hand pitcher, you're going to throw across your body in order to line up with that peg.
So what happens if there's 2 righties playing? Who gets to decide?
Well, you just take turns. So one guy shoots and the next guy shoots. But you have to throw both shoes from the same side.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can throw one end on the left side, and then the next end you could go over to the right side. But both shoes have to be from the same end.
Okay.
But
so
you throw your 2 shoes, and then your opponent throws the 2 shoes, and whoever scores, that decides who goes first.
Okay, on the next go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's been your biggest competitor, buddy, going like at this club that I've been to several times? Who's your biggest competitor?
Well, obviously it's Tom.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. That's it? You're the only 2 good guys there?
Kevin Cuthbert is also really good.
Okay.
We also have another guy up in North Cowichan named Tony Rondo.
Yeah.
He's won 5 BC championships. Tom's won 8.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've won 2.
Okay.
But my two were 17 years apart.
Oh, wow.
Because I won one as a kid.
Yeah.
I was still a kid, but I won the men's division at 17 years old.
Right.
And then 17 years later, this year, I won it again. But I was living in Alberta for 12 years.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and I also didn't compete for 13 of those
Yeah.
years. So.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, Tom, don't you have some family members with disabilities who?
My grandson, he lives with us. He's been living with us since he's 6 years old, and he's been playing horseshoes too, and he's won the Canadian Pee Wee Championship and the Canadian Junior Championships.
But am I correct in saying he has a disability or no?
Yeah, he has fetal alcohol syndrome. But
okay. Yeah.
And he carries it well, and
absolutely. I remember. I think I did a story on him years ago with ISN, and he was just like this phenom kid. Yeah. What did he win back then?
He was winning the Pee Wee Championship, which is 12 and under, and they throw from 20 feet, which is about halfway down.
Right. Okay. Now, the youth is what does a horseshoe weigh?
It can't weigh more than 2 pounds 10 ounces. It can be lighter than that, but not usually. They're not that much lighter. They're between 2 pounds 5 and 2 pounds 10. What do you
like? So it doesn't up to, but you could have a lighter one if you choose, if you want.
Yeah,
okay,
you could, but it's not. The heavier the shoe, the more advantage it is because it can fight its way on or knock other shoes off.
Okay, right. And there was, I recall, again, I'm getting old, but I recall there was a young girl. Again, I believe, a disability. And did she win the Worlds?
Yes. Lindsay Hodgins, she won the Worlds as a junior girl. Two times. And then when she turned adult, which was 2019, she won the World Championships.
Is she still pitching? Yeah, obviously.
She moved to Alberta, and I don't believe she's pitching right now because she's on a farm quite a ways away, so I haven't heard too much about.
What was her disability? Autistic?
Autism, yeah.
Autism. A remarkable lady. Well, this girl back then, lady now, but yeah. Oh, good. That's good to hear that she's done so well. So out of horseshoes comes this game, Cornhole. So was this an easy transition? Is it like to me, again, darts, pool, Cornhole. Yeah. It's just rings of camping and having a few drinks and laughing and stuff. It's not as competitive, is it?
It is. Down the States.
Tell me about it.
They're playing for big money down the States. Basically, we started Cornhole in Victoria because I've been reading about it down the States as horseshoe pitchers between 20 and, say, 40 are not playing horseshoes anymore. They're playing Cornhole. They're attracting to the game of Cornhole more than because you can pick it up faster than horseshoes. Takes a lot of time to figure it out.
Right.
And so they're going to the game where they can figure it out right away and play. So we decided, why fight them? Why not join them and start playing Cornhole at our club, and hopefully they can move into horseshoes.
Yeah, that's now. Is it easier? Like, so I've played against you both. I think I beat you both too, actually, at one point. Maybe not. I don't
remember that. Do you?
I think it's out there. And I think it's on the interweb somewhere. But I think is it an easier transition for you to go like, okay, so is it the same kind of thing? Because I find Cornhole isn't as easy as it looks. I'll tell you that right now. Right. And you get a slippery board, you get this board, you get that, you get, all of these things that, I don't know. I just found it if you're not on your game at all, Cornhole is not an easy game to play.
Well, it's easier than horseshoes, but you can, within half an hour, you've got an idea what you're trying to do.
Right.
Whereas horseshoes, it'll take you a good year to figure out what you're doing.
If you're a good horseshoe player, it's a super easy transition.
Okay, that's, yeah.
I'm already ranked 8,000 in the world.
8,000?
Yeah.
8,000.
I was about 300,000.
I was 24,000 when I started.
Okay.
And now I'm already up to 8,000.
Okay. And
I've only played 10 weeks for stats.
Okay.
So
I must be 8,001 or 2 then. So what I'm hearing right now is that I'd be a good horseshoe player. That's what I'm hearing.
Of course.
If you did a lot of practice.
If you put in the practice, put in the time.
It's all about putting in practice.
Anybody can be good. It just takes a lot of dedication. Horseshoes takes more dedication than cornhole.
Yeah.
But lately I've been playing cornhole 5 days a week, and I hung.
Yeah, you're nuts for that game, aren't you?
I am, and I hung my horseshoes up for the season because it's too cold to be throwing.
Right.
Wimp.
Yeah. Well,
I think I'm a little wimpy, but I usually do hang up my shoes for the winter.
Okay.
And I start in March.
Yeah. But you're outside, like, I've seen you on sidewalks and pickleball courts and parking lots playing this game.
I even played by the ocean.
Did you?
Yeah, I set up on Dallas Road right by the ocean.
Perfect.
I got some excellent footage.
Yeah.
We played the Horseshoe Club as well. I set it up on my sidewalk at home. I bought myself some carpets now, so I don't wreck my bags.
What do you mean
Carpets to go underneath the cornhole boards.
Oh, okay.
So that it lands on something soft instead of the pavement.
Oh, okay. All right.
That'll wreck the bags pretty quick.
Right. And describe the bags, because when I played with you guys on the Wednesday nights, I love those little kindergarten beanbags. I didn't like.
They were the cheaper ones, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's you know what I mean.
The thing is, the more expensive bags, they slide better, and so the whole idea is to get a good slide, control your slide. You want to hit low on the board and slide it right into the hole.
But boards are different. Like those, like on Pit 3, I don't even know how it gets set up. I can't remember, but you get a couple of those boards, and they were. Hang on, is that the bag there, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that say? Reynolds?
Reynolds. This is my second favorite set.
Okay. So Reynolds should probably be a sponsor on RawSportsCast, right?
For sure.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, one side's slipperier than the other side. So
What's the Reynolds side, or what side is slipperier, buddy?
The Reynolds side is the slippery side.
Okay.
The back side with nothing on it.
And what does that weigh?
1 pound.
What? Okay. What is the kindergarten beanbags that I like? What do they weigh?
Same thing, 1 pound.
Is it really?
It's just a different material on it.
The difference between those bags and these bags is the polyurethane pellets that they have.
Right.
Oh, not polyurethane. That's a finish.
Yeah.
Plastic.
They're called poly pellets. And
Polypropylene.
Yeah. And the ones in the bags that you're talking about have
Styrene.
way bigger pellets.
Oh, okay.
And so the pellets don't move as easy when they're so big, but when they're really small, the pellets in here are tiny, like really, really, really small.
Yeah.
So they move easier, right? So
Right.
They're more hole friendly.
Now, while you got that bag there, buddy, hang on. Without knocking over the can or whatever, how do you hold the bag when you're about to throw? From the side? Oh, from the back. So is that how you hold the horseshoe too?
I hold the horseshoe on the right. Like if you're holding a horseshoe up like this,
Yeah.
I hold it on the right side.
Opening pointing to the left.
Opening pointing to the left.
But the bag you hold from behind.
Yeah.
Is this 1 1/4 turn, or what are you doing?
No, it turns more about like 5 times.
Oh, so a spin.
It's supposed
Yeah,
to
you're
spin
spinning
lots.
it, like a frisbee.
Like there's no set amount of spin that you need to get for a beanbag, but you do need to spin it so that it lands flatly. Because if it doesn't land flat, it's going to bounce left, it's going to bounce right.
Okay.
And it's also about controlling the slide too. If you got a good spin and it's flat, it's going to slide better.
Well, you know what I noticed is if you don't have the arc, it doesn't matter what you do with the spin and this. Like you got to have that arc, right?
Unless you're going to try to knock a guy off a board or something, or move him out away from the hole.
Well, let's talk about that, because that's the hole opening is what?
6 inches.
The whole opening is 6 inches in circumference,
Yeah.
and the bag is how?
The bag is 6 inches as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're 6 by 6.
But that's why with the pellets there, as it hits a hole, they just fall in.
Right, the weight.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the scoring. Walk me through the scoring in cornhole.
You throw, you throw the bags. You have 4 bags each. So Buddy would throw a bag, I'd throw a bag till we finish the 4. You get 1 point for every bag on the board at the end, and 3 points for every bag in the hole.
Right.
And it's cancellation.
As well. So if he got 12 points and I got 10 points, he would get 2.
Right. But the difference is that when you're comparing the horseshoes to cornhole, is that you don't take alternate shots from the right side. How do you get the left and right in cornhole? Who came up with that?
The best in cornhole, whoever scores goes first. So it's an advantage to go first.
Well, I mean, that's just the start of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you're starting a new game.
You spin the bag. You
spin the bag, flip a coin. You can do anything to
flip
determine.
a coin, paper, scissors. But a lot of guys spin the bag because they're on my bags. It says ACL Pro 2020 to 2021.
Right.
So whoever that points to goes first. That's
So
how I do it.
you know what just occurred to me?
Huh.
Why I probably never beat you guys?
Why is that?
I didn't know that rule. The flipping of the coin. I was throwing on the left I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
So what's come out right now is that you kind of took advantage of a new, huh?
But the thing is when you're playing singles, you're alternating side every time because if you stand on the left side of the board, you throw your bags, you walk down, and you stay on that left side. Now you're throwing from the right side.
I've never played singles. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Most of the time we play doubles because it's
right.
It just everybody enjoys it, and you can have different partners and stuff like that.
It is a ton of fun, though, right? Like I did. I really looked forward to Wednesday nights, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So, Tom, tell me about this more about the club because now you've implemented cornhole on top of this as well. So, is it the same people? I don't think it's the same people who throw horseshoes come out to cornhole.
I would say half the people that come out to cornhole play horseshoes too.
Right.
And the other half are new people. So
right. Okay.
I would say we just sort of started it this year as soon as we were allowed to do something after COVID opened up a little bit. And so we were brand new at it. We didn't even have a clue what we were doing. So
right.
There's a really great app on for the computer called Scoreholio that we use, and
Cornhole, yeah.
And it's great for running tournaments because there's one thing called Switchholio where you play 4 round robin games really short with different partners, and then at the end
we've done that.
Yeah, that's how we play. And then at the end, the top say 8 guys go into the finals.
Right.
And the computer picks the partners.
Okay. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
As a stockier guy, can you not implement food on Wednesday nights somehow?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah? No, I think that'd be
Well,
hot dogs, whatever. Yeah, anything.
Because
right?
of COVID, that sort of we never got into that much.
You didn't eat during COVID?
No, we did, but actually, we're having a tournament tomorrow, and we got hot dogs.
Oh, really? I might come by for a hot dog.
Okay.
So how would you gauge your year this year with both horseshoes and coming out of COVID and that stuff? How would you gauge your success rate at the club this year?
I think it was very good because we were able to play competitively. We didn't have as many tournaments this year, but
right,
we were able to do that. And there was Canadian champion. Not Canadian champion. Provincial championship. The Canadian championship was canceled, and cornhole there wasn't a provincial championship because that hasn't been organized yet. But there was a national championship.
Could the GVHPA hold a provincial here?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
And we're thinking about it.
Okay. Yeah. What do you have to do? You have to apply? Do you have to have so many people, or you have to have accommodation? Like, do they stay in hotels or billets, or how does that work?
Well, there's not even a provincial association for cornhole yet.
Oh.
There's just like I say, last year was the very first year Canadian wide.
I thought it was just for you guys wide.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
In the States, it's blowing up really fast, and they've been playing.
Yeah.
They've been playing in the States for about 20 years. So me and Tom, we're getting pretty good at cornhole, and we're at the inaugural phase of cornhole in Canada.
Well, didn't you go, Tom?
I went to the national tournament.
Humboldt?
No, it was in Barrie, Ontario.
No, not Humboldt. Humboldt.
Oh, yeah, I was humbled. Actually, I didn't do too bad.
No, I know you did. I watched some of the videos and stuff, but I also watched some of the finals, and I'm like, oh boy. That one, I don't know what his name was, but he didn't miss.
Yeah, no, like say some of the guys I played against were tough, but what we did there was that there was singles, doubles, teams. Anyway, in the singles, you played 2 days, round robin. I think you played 5 guys each day, and then they divided it in half, A and B, and I was just under the halfway mark, so I was in the B event, and I.
And you're I must say, not to blow smoke up your ass, but you are a good good player, as Buddy as well. Now, with your little competitive thing, because I have seen both in action, and who's the better cornhole?
I'd say Buddy.
I have the higher SPR.
What's SPR?
SPR stands for Scoreholio Point Rating. And the app I told you about, Scoreholio, for keeping scores and running tournaments and stuff, it keeps track of every game you play.
Okay.
What it
keeps stats.
Yeah, what it does is you start with 50 points. Every time you win, you go up. Every time you lose, you go down. And depending on who you play, if you play a weaker player, you're only going to go up a little bit.
Right.
But if you play a stronger player, you're going to go up a lot. And then same thing if you lose. If you lose to a weak player, you're going to go down a lot.
Okay.
So during the last tournament, me and Tom were switching. Like I'm the number 1 ranked player in the city.
Okay.
Tom's number 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we kept during the tournament, we kept switching back and forth, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And
wow.
Like we're so close.
Kevin's good.
Kevin's
He's right behind us.
Kevin, I would honestly say is better than me right now.
Oh wow.
We've been playing 5 days a week for the last month, and he beat me 9 games to 3 one night. He beat me 10 games to 5 one night.
You didn't sleep that night, did you?
I did not sleep that night. Most recently,
they have no life.
Most recently, we played 15 games on Wednesday night. I fortunately got 8 out of those 15, so I did.
Wow.
I did win that night, but I was up 6-2.
I beat Kevin. I'll tell you one thing right now. I know this for a fact. I not just beat him. I smoked him.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm just.
He had an off night.
He probably did. Oh, obviously.
Kevin's a close number 3 right now.
He is good.
But I would say he's elevated his game to another level in the last month.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow at the tournament.
Okay.
He's going to be in trouble.
Is he going to be in trouble?
He's going to be trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Hard to beat. Yeah.
Yeah. And tomorrow's tournament is. Do you want to shout out the address to this place? You're constantly looking for members, right?
Like, always.
Okay,
Just come by. It's at 620 Kenneth Street, Glanford Park. Basically, it's.
Yeah, this won't be out by the time your tournament, but I just so you know. The address. So what's the address again? Sorry, Tom.
620 Kenneth Street.
Right.
If you see the soccer field in Glanford, we're right behind it.
Okay. Yeah. And so, like, what are you hoping to get? Like, how many people? Like, you have a kind of an idea of a list right now? What you're having?
For tomorrow, I would think maybe about 30 people right now.
Okay. And do they have to be members of the association to play in this tournament?
For the tournament, no. They just have to have the cornhole insurance. Like you have to have insurance for every sport nowadays. You know. Lawsuits and that.
Yeah.
But
in case the beanbag falls on your foot.
No.
In
case you trip or whatever.
I'm only trying. Yeah.
But yeah, you have to pay the $10 insurance for that, and then the entry fee for the tournament, which is cheap, $10. That's what's great about horseshoes and cornhole; they're cheap sports.
Again, I can't even emphasize enough how much fun it is. It really is. It's 4 hours of. It's different, right? What I found is, and it's like any sport for me, really. If I'm on, like pool. Right? And then you have that one beer too many, and you're like, I'm done. That's it. It's over. But I found that once you find your zone, you don't want to leave that pit or that side, and you just want to keep like that little motion going, right? But it's way harder than I actually thought. So watching somebody that's really good is kind of a pleasure to watch, right? So I won't say that at the time, but it was. Yeah. What's next for your little club? I guess it's not a little club anymore. What's going on?
Well, actually, it's smaller than it used to be. I mean, not size wise, but at one time we had over 200 members.
When I was a kid, we had 235 members.
We had 18 teams of men at 5 persons on a team.
Okay.
And 16 teams of women at one time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you?
About half of that now.
What do you think the decline? Just age or just people?
I blame it on the internet. You know, people are on computers or watching TV. They're just not getting out and playing, doing stuff as much.
A lot of members are dying.
Yeah.
Because they're old.
Yeah.
We have a wall that we dedicate.
I seen that.
Yeah, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's sad, but we got to get younger, newer members, and the idea with cornhole is to find those people who are gamers, You know what I mean? They really want to play cornhole. They're getting. If you notice, they're getting good at it. Challenge them to horseshoes, because horseshoes is a way tougher game.
Yeah.
Way tougher.
Yeah.
It took a lot of coaching for me to get where I am.
How many pits does the club have?
28.
28.
Oh, wow.
And 24 of them have roofs and lights over them.
So yeah, you could play all year round.
Yeah, we've played in the snow before.
Yeah. Wow. That's dedication, isn't it, Tom?
It's fun, though.
I guess so. And the club, is it just cornhole? Do you rent it out? Do you have parties? Is it like, so for people that may want to join the club, and I'd stress to do so, it's amazing. It really is good people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What did you have other events that you have?
You basically have to be a member, and then you can rent the club and stuff like that, or sponsor somebody to do it. But we have darts, we have crib, you name it. We have theme parties at times, like Hawaiian night or Mexican night,
wow.
or all kind, whatever you can think up, we can do.
Okay.
We could probably hold a dance for 80 people in it.
Okay. And it's licensed?
Well, yeah, you get a permit.
Okay, yeah, but it's there. It's
we have a full kitchen facility. We have a barbecue area.
Yeah.
And
Picnic
$4
area.
beer. $4 beer.
I know.
Wicked.
It's it. Yeah, exactly.
That's a sale point right there.
Yeah, it should be. And the food. Look if you had the weekly food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I say, we have a concession that, chips and candy bars anytime you want.
That's right. Yeah. That's awesome.
But when we hold a tournament, we have a full lunch menu, hamburgers, hot dogs.
It's really incredible. Yeah, it's I can't say enough about the place. But all right, boys. Well, listen. What's how do we want to and like what is it that you want to tell about this club that it's camaraderie. You've met some great people. I have already. So what is it that you want to get out there about your club?
I just want everybody to know that we're there, and it's a great sport. Come on out, give it a try, and it's not expensive. It's like I used to golf a lot. I don't even golf anymore because I enjoy horseshoes and cornhole so much.
Yeah,
and it's cheap.
Yeah, it really is, buddy. What do you want to say about the club? Like this is what I do want to mention. I do want to. Yes, it's competitive. Yes, it's you're playing some really good players, but you're never meant to feel you're never really out of it, except for that one game where I think you ended it in 2 shots or something.
But they're short. The games are short. You forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was depending on your partner gets hot.
Yeah.
Like you guys can go down, right? So it's not like you're coming in first every week.
No.
Right? So that's the time I finished first. I do remember that now. I think I beat you.
Who was your partner?
Me.
Probably, buddy. Probably. Whatever.
The thing about horseshoes is no matter how good you are, you're always going to be playing people that are around the same caliber as you. Cornhole, you might match up against a great player and lose quick, but the next game you might win quick.
Right.
But horseshoes, you're always playing people at the same level as you. Unless you're in the top class, there can be higher gaps in ringer percentages in the top class, but our top class is really competitive.
Right.
But when we have people come out and play horseshoes in the leagues, we do. It's more like a bowling league where you have a couple of guys on the team or 4 guys depending on the league, and then you have a handicap too.
Okay.
So it evens the score.
Okay. Who is the up-and-coming junior horseshoe male-female person coming up that you would have to say, watch out for those two?
I'd say Asia Bowden.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And she's I think she's about 14?
She's 15 years old.
Wow.
And I gave her a few pointers. And
okay.
She's listening.
Lights out.
She's learning, and she's doing great.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
And what about on the boys' side? Is there one that is popping out yet?
Not really, no.
Not yet. Okay.
I don't even.
Well, Dalton, he's turning adult now. So
yeah.
But he's sort of lost the interest a bit right now.
Has he? Yeah. He found girls probably.
And he found cornhole.
And he found Do you think you've lost a lot of horseshoe people to cornhole? Is that the double-edged sword?
In the States, yeah.
Oh, in the States, yeah. But
anyway, yeah. But not here.
Not here.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
That's why
cool.
we're trying to get on it as a combined thing together.
Yeah. And I think it's only fair to mention, too, that this is in a park in Saanich.
Yeah.
And you have a great relationship with like it's I don't know of another relationship quite like it.
Yeah, there's a fence all the way around it, and everything inside the fence we've built, paid for, maintained, but Saanich owns it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so they don't charge us for it, but we look after everything, and we have to pay all the bills and everything like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a win-win, right?
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah. And I don't think you get that anywhere else.
No,
certainly.
It's a great facility.
Yeah, it is absolutely. Okay, boys. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. So I'd say. If you're looking for something fun to do, something new and exciting and fun to do, I would highly recommend getting a hold of either Tom or who's the president actually.
Derek Thorpe is the president of Victoria.
Okay. And how do we get a hold of? Is there websites?
There's a website, gvhpa.org.
Okay. And Facebook page?
Greater Victoria Horseshoe Club.
All right. So they can find all the information on there and leave a message or email
or just come out.
And just come out,
That's
too.
the best way. Everybody will show you. Here, come on, give it a try.
Yeah.
That's how you get hooked.
Absolutely.
You start throwing something around and you get
hooked. Okay. All right, boys. Well, listen, that's Raw Sportscast, another episode. I want to thank both Buddy and Tom for coming out. Like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but it is a great little club with phenomenal members, a lot of bantering. It's just a fun time. So I thank you, and that's it for another episode. Good night.